Today I'm going to be reacting to a video done by Pink Book Lessons about the Shannon Sharpe situation. I'm not very familiar, to be honest with you, about the Shannon Sharpe situation, but I got told to check it out by a subscriber, and I won't say too much about her for anonymity's sake, but she's an attorney, and she said that it's an interesting legal case, so she told me to check it out. So let's get into it.
So Shannon Sharpe is being accused of assault and there is a young woman. She is now in her early 20s, but she says that she met Shannon Sharpe when she was 19 years old.
I love the clown makeup.
In a gym in Los Angeles back in 2023. And she says that because of what she experienced, and she says that she alleges that the was brutal. Like it was very
if it was so brutal, why didn't she just go to the cops and try and get a criminal prosecution started for Shannon Sharpe? I asked this question to this particular subscriber who's an attorney, and she said the reason is because you can't use the threat of criminal prosecution in order to get money. So she had to pick one or the other. That's my understanding of it. And so she wants the money. And that makes me think that it's not that credible, to be honest with you. Man, I'm tired of these false allegations, bro. I'm tired of these false allegations against men, man.
She wants $50 million in exchange. So this was filed late Sunday in Nevada by attorney Tony Busby.
Wait a minute now. I'm sorry. At this point, after I hear Tony Busby, I don't need to hear nothing else. Tony Busby.
What's everyone's issue with Tony Busby? I've been hearing a lot of negative stuff about the guy. I don't know too much about him, but I've been hearing a lot of negative stuff about him.
Word nothing, dealing with him is credible. He literally pulled this same move on Jay-Z, and we found out the whole lawsuit was a lie and a money grab. Then for the Breakfast Club to be reporting this whole lie as if it's legit, when it's very obvious, this is another one of Tony Busby's attempts to blackmail another rich black man, coming up with these fake victims, these fake stories, all working in cahoots with the civil justice system to rob black men. It's not a coincidence that Shannon Sharpe...
I don't know necessarily if it's a racial issue so much as it's an issue about how society treats men in general. But it could be a racial issue. I don't really know, but I just don't think it is. It's more so an issue about how society treats men. There's these feminists, they talk about the patriarchy and all this BS. There's much more of a matriarchy these days.
A $100 million deal for Club Shay Shay. And now all of a sudden you got Tony Busby's grimy, slithering, slimy, sloppy self up here trying to take all his money over obvious lies in a clear setup.
Now, this woman is alleging that Shannon Sharpe raped her multiple times over the course of a 2-year relationship. The relationship that they had was sexual and parts of it were consensual, but she says during their relationship, because he was physically stronger, a lot older than her, like 30 some years older than her.
Just leave, bitch. Damn. Couldn't have been that bad if you didn't just leave. Like, you should have left after the first R word. You know what I mean? And I have to say R word. I can't say R-A-P-E, the full word, because YouTube, TOS. But why didn't you just leave after the first one? I understand that sometimes it's not that easy, but just leave.
You know, more powerful, he began to get really aggressive. But at this point, she was already in it. She says that he was manipulative. He would threaten to her and slap her.
And look how eager this woman is to report this. This is how these hyenas report on black men. Just repeating all these damaging words like the R word, essay, very damaging, and not analyzing
So Pink Book, she seems to think it's a racial issue. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure that that's the case, because I think that there's plenty of white men who have been falsely accused too, so I don't know necessarily that it's a racial issue. Maybe race does play a part, though. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but yeah, that's interesting. Pink Book seems to think that that is the case.
To determine how legit it is, before taking the approach of reporting this to millions of people like she's actually spewing facts when she's only promoting the lie. It's like Tony Busby handed this lady over a script at the Breakfast Club, and these fools up here with 2 black women and 2 black men are all assisting Tony with this obvious smear campaign and money grab, not once questioning anything that's being said.
She's also said that at some point she was being recorded without her consent, and that she later found out and alleges that the videos were shown to people.
Well,
now
that depends on which state she was being recorded in, because some states require you to let the other party know that they're being recorded, and then some states only one party has to consent, and so you don't have to tell the other person. So whether or not that happened and whether or not that's even illegal, it would depend on where this took place. I'm assuming California, because that just seems to be where all the celebrities congregate. And if it is California, then she would maybe have a case with the recording thing, at least, because you have to let the other person know they're being recorded. So she might have a case with that part of it. With all the other stuff, I haven't seen much evidence. I've only watched like 2 minutes of this video, so I haven't seen much evidence. I don't know. It could, who knows? I'm going to keep an open mind. I don't know whether or not she has any evidence to say that she was R-worded. I hate that I have to say R-word. I can't just say the full word. But, you know, it is what it is. But basically, it's very hard to prove. Like, R-word is a very tough crime to prove, because what makes it harder is she said that parts of the relationship were consensual. So even if they were to do like a R-word kit and swab for DNA, Shannon could just say, hey, yeah, that was from the consensual encounter that we had. And so, like, it's very hard to prove. And so, and even, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there's been plenty of times where men have been put in prison for R-word, and there's been no DNA evidence. It's because, in a lot of ways, society is sexist against men. Let's call it for what it is.
Jim back in 2023. She says that she didn't know who he was, that it was just like an older guy that was like, you know, checking out in the gym. He was very persistent, so eventually they started texting, conversation, and that led into them you know, beginning to see each other outside of the gym. They got into an argument in a home. This was after the whole like Instagram live thing, because with the woman that we think is named Michelle. Yes, because at that point she said that they were in a physical relation, not physical, they were in an actual relationship. They were in Vegas together. So when that happened, she had already kind of been, you know, in this thing where he's verbally allegedly, but she thought that they were together.
He was verbally abusive to Skip Bayless. So yeah, hey, who knows, man? Who knows?
Okay, and if she thought she was somehow exclusively in a relationship with him, how is she now talking about essay and the R word? Like, really? And if that's all true, why didn't you go to the police?
Based.
I'll tell you why. Because
Based,
she knew
pink
she would be
book.
filing a false police report. She would be lying. But Tony Busby was able to get his paralegals together to type up these lies for a civil suit. And
I don't know much about Tony Busby, but if he is taking this case where there seems to be pretty much no evidence, he might not be the best guy. I don't know.
Ever come back around and prosecute her for telling lies anyway. So they're taking a chance trying to get a piece of that $100 million deal. I'm telling you, this is absolutely disgusting. And the idiots reporting this, they're not asking any questions, not going through any process to determine if this is actually legit. That's disgusting too, because it doesn't take much to realize what's going on here.
This Instagram live happens. She gets upset. She breaks it off because he's supposed to be exclusive allegedly to her, and he doesn't like that. She tries to turn on her phone location at some point during these arguments and send the phone location to her friends. He tells her and threatens her allegedly to say that like he will effing kill her if she ever does that again. But the part of it, she says that she was allegedly anally twice, and that it was very, very brutal.
Geez, that's pretty bad if that's true. I don't know. There seems to be no evidence to really support that. I think, yeah, I look, I try and just stay as neutral as possible until evidence is presented that is compelling. But in this case, I have to probably say I don't think that she has much of a case. I'm not a legal expert, but I just don't think that there's much there. But he might give her some shut up money or some go away money. I don't know though. I wouldn't personally, just on principle, if I were him. But yeah.
She alleges the last incident happened January 2025. So it was, according to her, this was very recent.
And while everybody is humming in the background like some flamingos, nobody stopped and said, wait, let me use my brain for a minute. If you got R-worded multiple times on multiple occasions over at least a year, why you never called the police after the
Exactly what I'm saying. Because she wanted money. Because you can't use the threat of criminal prosecution to get money. I think it's extortion is what they call it. Yeah, so... Yeah, it just seems... Yeah, why wouldn't you just call the police if you really wanted justice? It seems like you want money.
It's like every time people report on these false allegations and these stories, they never use critical thinking to realize they're being duped. The lie is just so entertaining, they all go along with it. And then when we find out people like Tony Busby just lied once again, none of them will come back and report that, especially with the same intensity and eagerness they had when they first started spreading the lie.
Shannon Sharpe released a statement after all of these allegations dropped, but he's denying this. He's denying this. He also is saying that there is a video that this woman's team has that he's been shown.
She claims Shannon was the one videotaping her when she's the one who was videotaping consensual acts and then edited the video in order to...
Wait, so she was videotaping it and then she edited the video? If there's proof that she edited the video, that might be the smoking gun that Shannon Sharpe needs to get this case completely dismissed. I don't know about that. This is just what Pink Book is saying. Pink Book being the creator of this video. But that's just what she's saying. I don't know whether or not that's true. But man, that would be crazy. If they were able to prove she edited it, that would be crazy.
Allegations. This is how you know it was a setup.
So, the fact that if this is true, right, why would she go grab Tony Busby as a lawyer?
Yeah, if you want to be taken seriously, you don't go get Tony.
What's everyone's issue with Tony Busby, man?
A long time ago. We don't know when she actually grabbed him. Do we know when she grabbed him?
Well, so we do know now. We do have a timeline exclusively. So I reached out to Attorney Busby and I asked him, first of all, did this happen? Did you guys file this because of that $100 million podcast negotiation conversation? And he said they've been in contact with Shannon Sharpe's counsel since February, long before any announcement. So then I said to him, well, they're also saying in Shannon Sharpe's statement that there's a video that has been altered to make it look like there's intercourse or whatever. It's non-consensual when it's actually consensual if you show the full video. Tony Busby said to me,
how can they edit it to make it look like it's not consensual? Did they add in screams post-production or something? That part is very confusing to me, but we'll continue.
Is a liar. He never even actually saw it. It wasn't even referenced or referred to in the case we filed. But now that his lawyer has breached the mediation agreement that Mr. Sharpe's counsel insisted upon, it should be known that there is indeed a video. The video was shown to his lawyers at a mediation. The video was also made available to Mr. Sharpe for him to personally view it in full at my office. He didn't want to view it. He chose to offer a substantial amount of money instead, which my client ultimately rejected.
And Tony Busby calling somebody a liar is laughable. Again, he already lost all credibility when it was exposed that he was going around trying to shake down these men for money with fake victims and lies. And what Tony is describing is blackmail. They have an edited video and they're trying to get $50 million out of Shannon.
It's not that hard to prove if a video's been edited. They can just bring in video experts into the courtroom and they can just say that it was, they can prove it. It's not that hard. So if it is edited, that's not good for Tony Busby and the client.
They know there's not a sensible person that will want a video of them out there like that. So they're basically trying to destroy
If this is video of intercourse, that would be crazy. Imagine being a juror. Do they use a jury for civil cases? I don't know. But imagine being a juror and having to literally watch two random people have sex. Like you're forced to do that. You get called for jury duty and you have to watch it. Like to me, that's just a crazy concept. But If there is a video, that's they're gonna play it in court. That's just funny. Imagine like some 70-year-old lady having to. I don't know. It's just funny to me. It's just funny.
All for anything. No, these days to run money at a situation like this won't make it go away. Nah, not in this era. You have to fight it head on and prove them wrong in court. Dead the issue there. And then when you're done taking on these crooked people, you have to follow up. Push for prosecution of these city girl hustlers.
Amen.
And hold these lying attorneys accountable, misusing and
Based.
abusing the justice system.
So then I said, well, wait, y'all mediated? Because that means that there
been going on. Like, he been knew about this.
Been wanting to, like, there was possibly a settlement. Like, there's been conversations, right? Like, y'all didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, but common sense lets you know that, though. These lawsuits don't just drop. Like, they always reach out to your team beforehand to let you know
that we're about to put this out.
Absolutely.
And if you want to put the kibosh on it.
That's right.
And the girl reporting this, spewing all this nonsensical baby bop bimbo babble, you said yourself. The attorney told you they've been in mediation since February. Translation, they've been blackmailing Shannon for over 2 months. They weren't able to get what they wanted out of him and determined they'll go for $50 million after they found out about that $100 million deal. Yeah, they knew Shannon was making big money already. He was on FS1, then Club Shay Shay blew up early 2024. He had plenty of deals since then. The wine business, ESPN. They
Dog, this is why if you're famous, just don't talk to women. Everyone, I hate to say it, but most of them are going to just be predators that just want your money. Or if you are going to talk to women, vet them very, very, very carefully. Man, it's a scary world out there.
That's a part of the pocket picking setup.
I just hung up the phone with a legal representative for Shannon Sharpe who wanted to make some things clear.
Oh, you fast.
They want to make it very clear that the information that Tony Busby shot me about the video, what they're saying is that Tony Busby is making it seem like when he speaks to me that they were offered this ability to see this video in full when they asked. Because they did ask, hey, let us see the video because we want to make sure it's not altered. But they said that never happened. He denied them the ability to see the video in full.
That'll come out in Discovery. That'll come out in Discovery. They'll see the whole video and they'll be able to tell whether it's consensual or not. Because if she has a video of her being R-worded, why would she not go to the police? Why would she not show that to the police? Like, this is so obvious to me. This is so obvious.
From their client, Shannon Sharpe, the video that they did see was an altered video. And the reason why they wanted to see it was because they know from what they're being told there's another version of this video. I'm also told with the mediation there was.
What is the video showing? Is it showing a quote unquote force?
In the statement that Shannon released, he said that there's a video that showed consensual sexual acts where he's doing things that she requested be done. Like, I don't know if it's like a role play situation or whatever the case may be, but it was all consensual. But it's edited.
Okay, so this might be like a situation where it's like BDSM or, you know, this is gonna be kind of awkward to say, but some girls have a fantasy where they want to be held down and have the illusion that something's being forced on them. Personally, I think that's kind of gross. I wouldn't participate in something like that, but some girls like it. I've heard of it. But that's awkward to talk about. I really don't like that. But basically, it could be a situation like that where she requested that and then she knew she was going to try and finesse him, so she edited the video to edit out the part where she asked him to do that and then just made it look like he was just holding her down. So that could be it. I'm just speculating. I'm just pontificating. I don't know for sure, but that could be the case.
Way allegedly, according to Shannon. Right. And Tony Busby is saying that is not true. We showed them the full video. Matter of fact, Tony Busby said specifically to me in the email that Shannon Sharpe did not want to see the video. He just wanted to throw money at the problem. Shannon Sharpe's team is saying that did not go down that way. There were conversations about millions of dollars, but that came from their side. And they feel like it was a shakedown.
Well, it sounds like a shakedown.
Exactly. I believe they're telling the truth that the money conversation was initiated by Tony Busby's side. This is part of Tony's whole MO. He's done this in several cases over and over again against these high-profile men. And if he can't get the number he's looking for, he's going to file paperwork filled with a bunch of salacious lies.
So,
again, This is not.
If Tony Busby is really this slimy, why is he should just be disbarred? Okay, I don't know that much about the guy. But from what I've been hearing about this guy from everybody, from YouTubers to the subscriber that told me about this whole thing, who's an attorney, she says he's slimy. So if he's really that bad, they gotta disbar this dude. They gotta take away his right to practice law, man, because this is horrible.
His first time representing an obvious liar, then using the media, especially black media, to legitimize the lies, hoping to bully the person they're blackmailing into a larger settlement.
I will have some more information once I get back on the phone, but I literally came in here hanging it up. But they're very adamant.
They reached out to you.
I reached out to them and he gave me a call because they're very adamant about, of course, they wanted to pick, their side of things and tell what they believe is their truth. So we'll have more on that, I'm pretty sure, because the attorneys have a lot to say. Shannon Sharpe released a statement after all of these allegations dropped. The statement starts with a quote from a text message. So the quote, and some of it I can't even say, I don't think, but it says, the woman is allegedly texting Shannon Sharpe saying, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and me with it while you're effing me.
Yes.
And then they have the woman
does that sound like a victim? Does that sound like a person who's traumatized, a victim? No, that sounds like a very freaky individual that wants freaky stuff done to her. That's what that sounds like to me.
And it says that this is a text that she sent to Shannon Sharpe on October 7, 2023. Now, there's another text message that says, I know you missed this big, juicy A-word. Can I say that?
Yeah, no, it's just A.
Okay, A-word. $25K for each cheek.
$25K for each cheek, dog. Ooh, ain't no one worth that. $25K for each cheek. That's crazy. Hey, listen though. Okay, I'm lost my train of thought. Let's just continue.
Again, and this message is from January 1st, 2025. Now they're saying that the lawsuit that was filed by this woman is orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant.
She said $25,000 each cheek.
Each cheek.
What?
But I mean, he led with money. She allegedly. She alleges that when they first.
Yeah, never lead with money. Even if you got money, never lead with it. It's guys always do this, and it's the stupidest shit ever. Never lead with money. Because then that's all they're gonna see you as, is just a paycheck, a wallet. It's like those girls who they'll give up the box on the first date, right? And then they'll wonder why the guy only sees them as a sex object. Like, it's obvious. Guys do the same thing, but with money. And even guys who aren't rich do the same thing with money, right? So, like, you'll have a dude who's making $12 an hour who will spend $200 on a dinner and then wonder why the girl only sees him as a money object. I've straight up had girls buy me dinner on the first date because I didn't lead with money. I've had girls buy me stuff because I didn't lead with money. Smarter, not harder.
Was he said, yo, if you get fit and lose weight with me and win this competition, I'll pay for you to get your boobs done.
How old was she at the time, they said?
Wait, is that her in the
And
middle?
clearly this one.
Because it looks like she's already got pretty nice boobs. Unless those are the fake ones, but those don't look fake. They look pretty real to me. If they are fake, they're very good. They're very, very, very good. My applause to the doctor who installed those. Very good work. But if they're not, then okay, why do you need your boobs done? Anyway, that's kind of besides the point. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's her in the middle or not. I'm assuming it is because she has the clown makeup, but yeah.
Is a street walking 304, making these transactions with Shannon, yet the reporter framed this whole story like this 304 was an exclusive girlfriend.
A man's horniness will destroy everything he has. Like, it's a curse. It really is. It's a curse to have this. Women don't understand how powerful that shit is. It will make you do the most irrational things ever. It'll make you risk everything, risk your whole career. Dude, listen. My best advice to you, get on some antidepressants. It'll kill your sex drive. And then you could just live peacefully and make YouTube videos and play video games. I'm living the life. I'm living the life. I ain't got no woman telling me what to do. I ain't got no one to answer to but myself. I'm living the life. Hey, get on antidepressants.
That was being cheated on. Now we're finding out she was making transactions with Shannon, like most streetwalkers do. And the co-host is trying to minimize this woman.
She's a glorified prostitute.
$50,000 to have relations, obviously proving she's not what she positioned her to be while reporting this story.
At the time, in the documents, they say she was 19 when she met him in 2023, but she's now in her early 20s.
And Shannon, what, 56 now? So he'd have been 54 at the time?
Let me see how old he is.
Yeah, I think he's like 56.
Nah,
With 2,500 a cheek, so what? Like
25,000 a cheek.
25,000 a cheek.
Google says he is 56 years old.
But were they actually a couple?
Yes, they were. They were doing
According
whatever
to her.
this dance
He was 50 and she was 19.
56, 54.
54 and she was 19 years old.
So listen, and crafted to falsely portray a consensual act as non-consensual. So yes, whatever they were doing at the time, according to Shannon Sharpe, it was consensual, but she's looking at it a different way.
But that's not against the law because she was of age. So even though she was 19, that's not against the law.
This is a very, very messy situation. I don't know what's true and what's not true, but I have no idea why a 54-year-old man is dating a 19, 20-year-old. I know y'all be out here bragging about
Shut the fuck up, Charlemagne. Dude, it's legal. That's all I gotta say, bro. Hey, men like beauty, and when are you your most beautiful? Late teens, early 20s. And hold up, no diddy. Over the age of 18 only. Let's be clear about that. Over the age of 18 only. Late teens, early 20s. That's when a woman's her most beautiful. So, no diddy. But, hey, listen. As long as everyone's an adult and they met when they were adults, I don't care. But Charlemagne, he's kind of going simp mode right now. He's trying to be a white knight simp.
Asking these young things, but that's not a flex to me. You 54 years old, you should be laid up with your wife and kids, taking your cholesterol medicine, minding your damn business. We need discipline and stability. That's and I ain't talking about just Shannon.
And I agree. Men should have discipline and stability. But if you aren't married by the time you're in your 50s, and you have the means to get access to like a girl who's early 20s, why not? You know what I mean? Charlemagne is just acting like he's just so above this. Dude, you would do the same thing, bro.
You need discipline and stability. Find you one woman and settle your ass down, okay?
I agree with you, but it's not against the law. He can as long as the person's over a certain age, it is not against the law. So legality.
Okay, so the second host has some sense here. He's saying it's not against the law. Yeah, Charlemagne just needs to shut up.
With you.
It don't feel right, but for himself, it's not against the law.
I'm with you. I'm just saying a 54-year-old man is supposed to be laid up with his wife and kids somewhere. Hell, maybe even have a couple of grandkids. I don't want to be chasing those young girls.
Because what are the conversations like?
Yeah, whatever, but we're talking about law.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. For a hookup, it's probably fine, but for a relationship, you probably don't have much in common with someone who legitimately could be your daughter. And so... yeah, I would say for a relationship it's a bad idea, but for a one-off hookup, but even then that's risky when you're famous. It's risky to very risky to hook up because they could say anything. Look at the situation with Joey Gatto from Impractical Jokers. I mean, I won't get into all that, but basically a similar situation is happening. But with that being said, guys, I think that's probably it for the video. I'm not quite done with it, but this video is getting pretty long. So anyway, guys, yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike, but peace out.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right.